VC, this is the ambassador speaking. I just pulled up to Noble Records. It is not a fine establishment, as you may have heard. It is a hellscape for a man's wallet. I'm here, and there's a line already formed out here. And I'm breathing heavy. I just listened to Body Count all the way here. Ice-T talking about evil dicks and shit. I mean to tell you, I'm here for that. You remember that man from Baywatch? David Hasselhoff or whatever his name is? Well, he put out a record, and I heard that Dylan Smith has it up in this piece. So I'm here for it. And I will show you if we came out with it. There's a line formed. Some bitch. Evening VC, it's Dave. This is going to be a highly unexpected, massive update. Not so much unexpected that I would buy a bunch of records. That's what I do. But the quality of these records and some of the rarity of these records, and all kinds of things going on. All kinds of unexpected things. First of all, Premium Sound in Tip Top Daily Market here in Charlotte, which is an oasis. It's my favorite place in the city. Tip Top staying open with the beer part, but Luke is shutting down the record part. Heard a lot of different stories on why, but I believe he's got a full-time gig. He's invested in the Tip Top end with the beer, and then they opened another location in South Carolina, so it probably was getting a little bit much to handle, especially since he switched from all used to mostly new records and having to deal with distributors who are shitty to him and whatnot. So I think he's going to transition back to doing pop-ups like he used to, you know, good solid used records and pop-ups. He's going to stock new records in Burial Brewery just so they have something hip there to sell you with a beer. So that's cool. But it's a bittersweet deal, so there'll be some records from my final trip into Premium Sound at Tip Top. He's had stuff marked down 20% and 30%, and then I think he's going to close probably around the 24th of this month, so if you are anywhere in the area, you might want to get up to Tip Top before this happens. It may be 50% by then, who knows, but I know right now he's at 30% off anything in the shop. So that's unexpected bad news. Some unexpected good news was that Scott, well, bad news first, Lunchbox had COVID. The whole staff, I guess, it ran through, and Scott had been out, and he ended up having to close a day, and then he hit us with a massive hardcore punk drop. Huge collection that he bought. I think it's probably all gone now, but I was able to get up there right at open when it dropped and hit that up, so you're going to see some of those records in here. It was just a massive unexpected drop. Also unexpected, I got a great VCLT package that you're going to see in here. So yeah, and then also this week is my parents' 50th wedding anniversary. Not so much unexpected that they made it that far, but I don't know. It's 50 years. It means I'm getting old. So yeah, let's show you this VCLT package first, and then you're gonna have to wait till the end to see the Noble records. Yanks. This is from Steve out in Arizona, and I believe he goes by Vinyl Pants. I don't know if he does videos. I haven't looked to see if you do videos, man. I'm gonna have to check him out. But I think he just comments on the videos. But always has great stuff to say, and this is a very thoughtful VCLT package that he sent, and he sent it in this acoustic sounds box that's built like Fort Knox, and it says, "I hope you dig these. Cheers, Steve." Thank you, man. This is unbelievable. So I just did my video on trip hop and talked about this particular record. I had not been able to get in. It's been backordered through Lunchbox. I believe because it's an import from the UK, if I'm not mistaken. And so I've given up on it, really. I know Tim reached out to me at High Noons Vinyl, and that his local shop had a copy, but I didn't want to. I don't know. I just didn't feel like. I just wanted to wait to see if Scott was going to get it or not. But he sent his copy on, introducing DJ Shadow, the half-speed mastering at Abbey Road Studios double LP. I am extremely stoked. This is one of the most important records to ever come out in my life. Yeah, just I'm so stoked that I have this record now. You are the man, Steve. Don't let anybody tell you different. Also in the package, and maybe you're the one that said this in the comments that I should get this on vinyl, but here it is, Portishead, Roseland, New York City live, and I had shown the CD in my trip hop video. Another double LP. This is a epic concert. Absolutely love it. It's got all their best stuff on here. Yes. Excited about this one. Excited to hear this on vinyl. I'm sure this is going to sound incredible. That's, I think, an original of that. And then he sent a couple records that I'm not familiar with and looking extremely forward to spinning. The first is Icebreaker, Distant Early Warning. And so I'm guessing this is in the, the whole trip hop, down-tempo vein from 1999. I haven't had a chance to look up too much about these groups, but this was put out on the Aesthetics label out of Chicago, I believe, or NATO Arts. Yes. Very cool cover. So looking forward to getting into that. And then this record, which is called Fours, so it's F-O-R-S-S, Soul Hack is the name of the album, and this is a double also, and this is made in Germany, it says on the record. And I don't know anything about this either. So it's written and produced by Eric Walforce. So Force is the last part of his last name. In 2003, on the Sonar Collective label. I don't have anything else on this label. This is scratches by DJ Alik. Freaking cool. So Fours, Soul Hack. So some great trip hop stuff and DJ stuff here. Steve, phenomenal VCLT package. Thank you, brother. I'm extremely stoked. Next, I had a package come, I forget when. I got a local guy here in Charlotte that deals in just reggae. He's on eBay and Discogs. And his prices are very cheap. He lists everything exactly how it is as far as condition, so you know what you're getting. And I got 4 reggae singles here from the 70s on Jamaican labels. So I do have the Revolutionaries Why War on the Well Charged label. Show you These are all in not the best of shape, but they play through just fine. But yeah, it's just one track that continues on both sides. And Revolutionaries, good kind of dub sounding instrumental stuff. Very dope. And then this one, Mpla from the Revolutionaries on the Disco Mix label. And let's see if we can't throw this one on. This one's like VG Plus sounding. At least it was when I put it on the other day. Let's see what it sounds like now. See if we got sound here. Those tunes in the background. Had to turn the speakers on. So there's that one. And then I've got Roz Michael and the Sons of Negus. Mr. Wicked Men on the A side. And Chant Out the Wicked on the B side, which is basically a continuation of Mr. Wicked Men. This one's got some funky sounds on it. Good vocals on the Rastafari label. All these are from the 70s, like 75 through 77. Alright. Last but not least, this was the one I really was stoked about in the bunch. That's the Abyssinians. This is Satamino Bornea. This is on the Clinch Records label. I've never seen this label. So these are all, again, Jamaican originals. Some dope beats, dope vocals, roots reggae. Very stoked with those. All cheap. Like the, I think one was like $6.99, the other's like $7.99. And I think the Abyssinians was a little bit more. One of these was, yeah, this one was a little bit more, I think. But, I mean, they go for, if those were listed on Carolina Soul, it would have been bidding wars into the stratosphere. So now we'll get into this massive haul from Lunchbox with the punk, hardcore punk drop included in this. First, I did grab this used because John at Digital Gramophone recommended that I pick it up, and so I did. And that's Mothers of Invention, absolutely free on the Verve Records label. And it's an original, I think, mono press? Yes. And so this was marked a really good price because the condition is not the best, like VG. Definitely has some surface noise, but the jams blew my fucking mind. And yeah, I'm all in on this Mother stuff now. Now I gotta find more of their shit. Zappa just, the end of side one just goes off on this record. It's absolutely killer. Gatefold, yeah, side one just, I think it blows my mind. It's got the original original insert. Yeah, on the Verve Records label. So yes, indeed. And this is kind of a weird way they did this cover. But back in, I think around 95, I had to get a roommate where I was living across from campus at UNC Charlotte, and ended up, 50-some-year-old ex-Marine sergeant moved in. I forget his name. He was a weird dude. He used to dumpster dive, and he'd come out with like meat and put it in the freezer, and like computers that people threw away, and this dude was crazy. And the only thing he really listened to was Frank Zappa. And I was not into that kind of music at all at the time. I was way into other stuff, and it was kind of freaking me out. And it took me all this time to come around. This is some of the stuff he was listening to. This is fucking killer. Where was it? I don't know why I've been waiting so long. Also, almost in the same vein, I've got OC's Live in Big Sur. This is a double. I pick up anything I can from OC's. It's a 2020 Henry Miller Memorial Library show. Tons of great shit on this. The double drums. I've picked up a bunch of live OCs lately, so kept it rolling. Seeing them live will make you want to pick this stuff up. Absolutely killer. And I forget the label name on this. Some weird label name that recently came out. Okay, now to the serious hardcore punk stuff. I really wanted to get up there and make sure I got this one record, because the only copy I ever found was in like Peru or something, and it was a little pricey, and so he had it like 20 bucks cheaper. And honestly, Scott had all this stuff marked well. He marked it to move. I was talking to my friend Joe on the phone tonight. Scott really, for the most part, marks all his records to move, except for maybe the OG Blue Notes. That stuff's pretty high priced because that's what that stuff's going for now, but most everything else is priced to get out the door. Very fair price. This is Conflict US, Last Hour. Great Arizona hardcore punk band. This is from 1983, original. Fucking female vocalist. She is a badass. Still has the original insert. From Tucson, Arizona, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. It's on the Unjust Records and Placebo labels. It's a 12-inch. Killer guitars. Like I said, killer vocals, lyrics. Great hardcore punk from that scene. I didn't have anything from the Arizona scene. So I had some stuff from Nevada. I think 7 Seconds is from Nevada, but Conflict US, Last Hour, and just great cover art. And so that was the one I was there to get. The guy in front of me, I was second in line. The guy in front of me was there to get an original of Metallica and Justice for All, and he got it. So that was cool. Next, this was also a big one that I wanted to pick up, and so I got this one also. And I'd already picked up the Record Store Day copy of Cro-Mag's The Age of Quarrel on the colored vinyl. But seeing an original, I was like, I had to get it because it was also marked very fairly, and so we have the original now on Profile Rock Hotel Records. I think this is from '86, and one of the best records to come out of New York City at that time. Fucking killer band. One of the best to do it. Cro-Mags. Age of Quarrel. Everybody knows that one. This one as well. I had picked this up not that long ago because reissues are like 12 bucks or whatever from Discord. The Minor Threat. It was originally released as 2 7-inches in '81. This was the first time they had put it out on 12-inch, but this is the recent reissue they did on I think this was on blue vinyl. Yeah, it's on blue. Well, you can see that. It's on blue wax. So, another one I had a reissue of, but there was sitting an OG from 1984 in immaculate shape, so I had to pick it up. At the $4 price tag. Yeah, Ian MacKaye, the master. before his time in Fugazi. He was with Minor Threat. And so there's that one. And then let's see, we got a bunch more here from Lunchbox recently. Keep going with the hardcore punk. This got a remaster and a reissue using this really cool cover design they did. Bad Brains, I believe their first record, but they did it in the Blue Note record style with the cover and back cover. So yeah, I had to get that. This was redone by ORG Music in 2021. This is the black vinyl, and I do have an original that I got from Alex Motor 247. So yeah. Had that for a while. Bad Brains, pretty much the pinnacle of DC punk, and the Godfathers. This was one that Scott was very stoked that I picked up, and that is Black Flag, Who's Got the 10.5, rated G Live. He said this was one of the first records he ever learned to play drums to. This is an original from '86 on SST Records. Anthony Martinez on drums. So, of course, Henry Rollins on this one, killer. And this sounds better than some of the recorded material. This live deal. So, yeah, this is one of Scott's favorite Black Flag records, and it was cheap, so I grabbed that. And then had an OG. This just got a reissue, but they had an OG of Bad Brains Quickness on Caroline label. I'll show you that label. This is not that. I think from '89. Has the original inner sleeve. There's the Caroline label. So we grab that one. Of course, HR, killer vocalist, Dr. No, fucking amazing on guitar. Love Bad Brains. I only had a few records of theirs that I'd gotten from Alex, so trying to get a few more, obviously. And we've got We're the Meat Men and You Suck. So this is the first repress. This is on Touch and Go. I think it was originally came out maybe '83 or '86. I think '83, and this is the '94 repress. The original has a black and white instead of red and white cover. There's some wild lyrics, not for everybody, and but great. I love the guitar tone and guitar sound from this. And the Meat Men played Fredonia when I was in college at Fredonia Fest back in like '91. This is a cool record. I spun this the other night. Show you the label on this. Meat Men. Really cool labels. Neighbors are bumping music outside, the usual. Keeping this drop going from Lunchbox. Got the Cramps, Bad Music for Bad People. Thought I was done buying the Cramps records. I really thought I only needed that live LP, but this is a comp, so, and a good one. And this is the 1990 version on IRS Records, which is a good version, I guess, from what I read. It was cheap, so I grabbed it. There's the inner sleeve. I think Richie just showed this in his Cramps video, I'm sure. I'm gonna dig the guitars, vocals on this. Kind of rockabilly. I don't know why I always think of John Spencer when I think of the Cramps, but we have this bad boy. It's a Steve Carlson fave. as he just mentioned recently. And then got Agnostic Front, Victim in Pain. Never see their stuff. And this is from '86, and this is not an original. This is a Relativity Records, well, Combat Core from '86 press. So a repress of this with a different cover. I think the original cover had artwork on it. I'll show you this one. That was on the Combat Core label. So some more great heavy stuff there. That one's not in the best of shape, so that was priced accordingly. And then also dug through, he got a classical collection in, and I hadn't gone through all the bins, like the dollar bin ones. And I pulled this out, Martinu jazz-inspired compositions on the Superfon label from Czechoslovakia. I'm not sure the year on this. I spun part of the first side already. It sounds fantastic. But this cover drew me in, and it was in the cheap bin, so I grabbed it. It's not as avant-garde as I was hoping for, but anything on this label I pick up as instructed by Rob It Sounds Strange many years ago. So that's now in the collection, classical section. And then we got a couple, last but not least, from Lunchbox, got a couple of new records here. Shiner, Schadenfreude, or I don't know how you even say that, but their newest record, which had been unattainable for the most part, which now it's finally getting some distro. Yeah, this is came out, what, 2020? I think this is on Two Black Eyes is the name of the label. But yeah, this is fantastic. Them getting back together. Of course, Alan Mpla from The Life and Times is in this on guitars and voice. And Rhodes, Josh Newton on guitar, Jason Gerken drums, Paul Malinowski bass. Shiner from Kansas City, Missouri. I'm not big on all the Shiner stuff, but this is a good one. This new stuff. Great rock band. If you dig Life and Times, it's Alan Mpla. And then, last but not least, is the Classic Series. This is only, I think, the second record I've gotten on the Classic Series from Blue Note, but this is a big one. That's George Braith Extension. I've just never been able to pay up for an original. If you want one in good shape, it's going to hit you for about $300. There was one on the wall a long time ago at Repo. It was just too much. This is one of the best avant-garde records on the Blue Note label. You wouldn't think that with this cover and with this lineup. I mean, Grant Green's on this, but this is definitely pushing the boundaries, and is just a phenomenal record. George Braith on tenor, soprano, and alto. Billy Gardner organ, Clarence Johnston drums. Not a lineup you see very often, but definitely suggest picking up the Classic Series. I mean, these are like $20. And this is the other thing about this Shiner record I'll mention. When this first got put out, I mean, there were very few copies online, and I think the cheapest I've seen is $70. So now that it's out for like $20 or whatever, yeah. Next, I got a record in from Mr. Minko, Polish Mafia. This is easily a top 5 jazz record for me. It's one of the best jazz records I've ever heard in my life, hands down, easily. If someone asks me my top records, this is going to be one of them. And I had gotten maybe last year, I can't remember when it was, or the year before. Let's see what year this was. I got the Octave Lab reissue of Teramaso Hino meets Reggie Workman A part. And Reggie Workman's bass playing on this is absolutely astounding. This is just a phenomenal Japanese jazz record. Teramasu Hino, Morihiko Hino also is on this on drums, who's just a killer. Phenomenal record. The guitar playing on here is fantastic. Everything about this record is the pinnacle of jazz. But I had this reissue. Now, this is the original cover art. An original pressing of this is just, you know, 4 figures and just out of hand. I'm never gonna own that record. But there is a reissue from '79 on the overseas label, and it's here now. And this came from Tom. Thank you, Tom. I'm excited to spin this to compare. Huge record for me. This one means a lot. Very, very stoked. Teramasu Hino is one of my favorite trumpet players of all time. I was just talking to Jim, just texting back and forth with Jim about Hino. He wanted to know where to go. He was listening to one of Hino's records on Inner City, and this is one I recommended to him. So now we'll get to the final dig at Premium Sound. And we've got an artist I didn't have any records of, but Ken McAuliffe has kind of piqued my interest on this artist, and that's Pat Martino, and this is Consciousness. This is an original pressing from 1974 on the Muse label. The cover is not the best of shape. So the record, I just spun this, and it is fantastic. This is some of the best fusion guitar jazz you're ever going to hear, right here. And the electric piano is also great on this, from Eddie Green. Tyrone Brown's on bass and Sherman Ferguson on drums and percussion. This is fantastic. Was surprised that this was still there. African Scream Contest on Analog Africa, double LP, and yeah, this came out a while back too, 2008. So I guess some dead stock or whatever. This I checked out a long time ago. I think Mazzy's championed this record, and Steve Carlson's championed this record, and same with Roger Coleman. Probably Roger Coleman is who I first saw it, because he gets everything Analog Africa as does Mazzy. But this has been on the want list for a very long time, and probably my favorite of the label. I'm not big on this label for some reason, but this is a big one, so I was happy to grab that. And then a Fela Kuti record I didn't have, He Misrode. So yeah, Fela Ransom Kuti in the Africa 70. You know, Fela, this is going to be just as dope as any of the rest from the 70s. Probably from 76. This is the more recent reissue on Knitting Factory, Calcutta Sunrise label, and they do a great job with these reissues. They all sound fantastic, and they're pressed well, and the jackets are nice. Yeah. So there's that. And then last but not least, from Premium Sound at Tip Top, more dead stock. Revolutionaries Sounds Volume 2, which we were just listening to. This is, I have Volume 1, I have an original Volume 1 without a cover, but this is what the cover looked like. And this is the silk screen jacket, and there's an 18x24 poster in here, but this came out on Black Friday in 2015. So, stoked to find this. Some more great dub fucking beats from Jamaica. That's a killer one. You're very stoked to see that in there. But now, the moment you've been waiting for, today's Get My Ass to Noble Records dig. Dylan, in one of his recent videos, had talked about he had upgraded this record, and so this went out in the shop, and this was the record I was there to get. And I've got a reissue on Luca Bop. this sounds really good. It's super cheap. From William Onyeber, Anything You Sow. Fantastic record, and one of the best album covers of all time. This dude with all his keyboards, and there's great vocals on this. This is a very upbeat, happy record. Great playing. He's just a real talented man from Nigeria. And now Luka Bop, I thought it was interesting. They put their matrix on it and their name on the bottom. Now I have an original pressing from Nigeria, and it's on the Will Films Limited label, and so they got, of course, their label name there and their matrix number up here. So I like how they made it their own on the reissue. But yeah, here's the OG. That this belonged to Dylan. This was his personal copy. He upgraded it, so now I have his old copy. So there's that. Now while I was in there, and now it's a fairly cheap record. It's not. That's one you can get online. I mean, it's not crazy at all. And he was playing this record in the shop, and I had forgotten they had put out the reissue, and he actually had a few copies, so I definitely grabbed this. That's Truth and Janie, No Rest for the Wicked. This was a private press, I think in Iowa, 1976 or 75, somewhere around there. Good, hard and heavy rock. I don't usually get into a lot of this stuff, but this is just top notch. I mean, this is, yeah. My friend Joe, I think he compared to like Grand Funk sounding, but yeah. And this is a very nice pressing of this. They used a nice inner sleeve and all that. Replicated the inner. Dylan's championed this record, and he's got an original, which is just super fucking rare. I'm stoked to have this reissue. And then I found this in the bins. Probably the craziest record he had in the shop. This is Merzbow, Ballas Pondy, Mats Gustafsson, and Thurston Moore. Cuts Up, Cuts Out. This is on the Rare Noise Records label, and I haven't listened to this. Don't know any. Well, I can't say I don't know anything about it. I've heard Mats and Thurston Moore together. I haven't heard them combined with Merzbow. This is going to be hurtful. This is going to hurt the senses, and I'm going to dig it. And it's freaking the craziest stuff pops up in Noble all the time. I swear to God, I don't know how he gets some of this stuff. But yeah, I'll show you this record. It's a real thick piece of vinyl. I mean, super nice. There's your labels on that. And then, as you all know, because of Dylan's videos, he's had boots on the ground in Zambia, and he's been getting lots and lots of shipments in of that stuff, and of course he's keeping a lot of that stuff. I don't blame him. And then put some of it up for sale in the shop. Some of it's gone to Steve Carlson's retirement. Steve Carlson's retirement fund has acquired a bunch of it, and but he had a few doubles that I was able to acquire today. One was he had upgraded this, so this was another one of Dylan's personal collection. That's Paul Ngozi, The Ghetto. There's another record in here too. He gave me this record. This one's beat. It's probably not playable, but he just gave it to me. So he had a couple copies of this. The Sentries. Not sure about this one. I need to look into it online to see what it sounds like. That one's probably a little rough to put on the player, but cool record to have. But here's the Ngozi on the Motaxis Music and Arts Promotion label. This record's not in too bad a shape. Like I just said, this was his play copy before he upgraded. So we got that. And then, last but not least, the biggie. This is a record I got not too long ago. I got the Now Again reissue. That's Witch, Lazy Bones. One of the best Zamrock records for me that I've heard. Absolutely mind-blowingly good. I mean, definitely inspired by Hendrix and the like. But here is an OG. And plays a little bit of surface noise. Nothing that the music can't overpower. And it's not warped. It doesn't skip. It's all in one piece. It's definitely rough. Needs to have as best a clean as possible, but the labels are still intact on the Zambezi label from the 70s. And so this is the major acquisition of the day, and why I had to get my ass up to Noble Records. I knew he was going to do this to me, and he did. Bastard. Big update. Like I said, a lot of unexpected stuff. Hope you're all well. Peace.